Greg Shoemaker, TriStateFootball.com. I'm here at Piqua with head coach Bill Nees. And Coach, 2013 is right around the corner. Talk a little bit about that schedule.
Well, we're changing our schedule just a little bit. We're opening up this year. We're going up to Toledo and playing the second place. They had been the defending champions before, the second place in the City League, Toledo Rogers Rams. And then from that point on, we'll continue our normal schedule. We'll have Kings come up here in a non-league game. We'll go to Lima Senior, play them, and then at that point we'll be in GWAC competition.
You know, before we get any further, the Troy game, it's something special up here. A lot of people down south aren't real hip to the rivalry. Talk about what's that like on a Friday night when they come to town.
It's huge. You know, every time that it happens, everybody asks me the same question, and the answer is always, the same deal. It gets bigger as the years go on, and there's some years obviously where it's bigger because there's more playoff, implications. There's more league implications. But bottom line is, no matter what's going on, and I know the cliches that you throw away the records and everything, but it's still one of those things that when you win that football game, it's probably as satisfying as there is. And when you lose a football game, it's probably one of the biggest lows you can find yourself in.
Looking at your team next year on offense, who do you have coming back? I know the Honeycutt kid, he only was a sophomore last year, but he really had some good numbers. Who all's there to help you?
Well, we've got him and we've got Trent Yeoman. I think we've got two kids that are both track kids. They're both right around the 11.2, 11.3 range. So we think they're going to have great speed being our skill players. We've got a number of offensive linemen coming back. Devin Magneto will be leading the offensive line. He's a 3-year starter, and he's an all-league first-team player. We also have Matt Stolmer, a big 6'6" offensive tackle that plays next to him. So I think those two guys will formulate a good wall on offense. We've got a lot of young kids coming in that'll be replacing people in the skill positions. We've got two quarterbacks that are sophomores, probably be vying that out along with a veteran senior. So I think the quarterback situation will be an interesting situation once we get going.
And on the other side of the ball, the defensive situation?
Defensively, we've got to replace some people on defense. I think that's where we took the biggest hit. But Kevin Watkins, one of our defensive tackles, is going to be back. We also have Brendan Fry's back. Those two guys are almost 300 pounds each. So I think they'll be formidable. And up the middle, we should have our strength because we also have our two inside linebackers back, Hayden Hall and Dom Stone, both return. Jacob Teague returns at corner, and then everybody else is going to have to be nib.
Now, you're coaching on Friday nights. Your son's now playing at Toledo. How's that been going from Friday nights now to Saturdays to watch him play?
Well, it's been hectic, but the iPad and the internet could not have come at a better time. And we do find ourselves getting up a little earlier, staying a little later. Those are fun things out there. And I've got a son. I've got a second son that's going to be on the team now next year. So all those things put together are pretty fun. We're a little concerned with the fact that we're opening Friday night, and Toledo's going to be in Florida at the Swamp at the same time. So we don't know. I thought it was going to be a good idea, that we could play our opening game in Toledo, and then we find out that he's going to be in Florida. Hopefully, he'll make the travel squad. He'll be in Florida in the Swamp. So we'll try to find a way to win at Toledo, and then work our way down to Florida somehow.
One last question before I let you go. One of our series this year at Tri-State Football is a blast from the past. Your 2006 state championship team. What are your fondest memories, and how good was Brandon Sain in that stretch run?
Well, I'll tell you what, he was great. And there was a couple games that he started off a little slow because everybody was going to key on him. And everybody, the whole thing was you're going to be able to stop Sain. And we did have a lot of other talented people on our team, but I think that was the big focus. And toward the stretch, there was a couple games that we came out in the second half and just came out in an I formation, which was a little uncharacteristic for us, and just handed him the ball and just ate up some clock and did some things along those lines and waited for him. Usually it was the big run. He was going to get out in the open, nobody's going to catch him, things like that. But I think that's probably the biggest memory, the fact that Brandon is now playing for the Packers. It just at some point strapped us on his back, especially the preceding game before we went to Massillon. I think that was probably one of his bigger games. And there's a lot of great kids out there. We've got Justin Hem, our quarterback, is currently in a combine right now along with David Rolfe. Both of those guys are at Division II, Division III combines and regional combines getting ready to play in the NFL. So we're excited about that. And Pete Rolfe, another one of our guys, just graduated from Weber State. He's coaching out in Utah. So we get a chance to talk to those guys quite a bit. So it was a very interesting football team.
There you go. Bill Nees, the head coach of the Piqua Indians.